National Drug Law Enforcement Agency sets to promote bilateral relations with Nigeria. GAF personnel conquer basic Turkish language courses. Joy and CA frown at poverty as a common enemy. These and more coming on Gambia 24. Hello and good evening. You're watching Gambia 24 News Bulletin with me, Mariama Cham, and thanks for joining us. Now, over 200 personnel of the Gambia Armed Forces have completed a 3-month Turkish language courses in collaboration with the Marif International School. The course is geared towards preparing the troops on basic communication skills ahead of their airlifting to the Republic of Turkey for a military training program. Details of that in this report. The 250 personnel, which includes 7 officers from the first batch of the proposed 500 soldiers to undergo training in Turkey. The military program is in response to the Gambia Armed Forces plight to the UN in April 2019 that it will deploy a quick reaction force into one of the peace support operations in Mali, DRC Congo and the Central African Republic. Commandant of the Gambia Armed Forces Training School, Major Abdullah Job says, the course is part of a package in preparations for possible UN peacekeeping missions.
The Turkish language course is one of a series of activities undertaken by the Gambia Armed Forces High Command through the Gambia Armed Forces Training School in preparation for possible deployment of a quick reaction force to one of the United Nations peacekeeping missions worldwide. This course is the first of 2 batches or contingents, if you may say, of 250 soldiers each, totaling 500 soldiers who are to be airlifted to the sister Republic of Turkey for special training. It is against the foregoing that a team of facilitators from Marif International Foundation were deployed to the Gambia to conduct the Turkish language course for Gambian contingents 2 and 3, respectively.
The course principal, Hussam Metin Iyupoglu, explained in detail the course content and the performance of the uniformed men.
During the period under review, apart from the distribution of the required learning materials in the form of textbooks to each and every course participant, so far we have taught a total of 12 weeks educational program, excluding official and religious holidays. A total of 288 hours of lesson were delivered, and we produced approximately 20,000 sheets of supplementary learning material. Handouts containing military literature were prepared and distributed to the students, and a total of 9 exams, including midterm and final exam, were coordinated during this past 3 months.
For his part, Deputy Chief of Defense Staff of the Gambia Armed Forces Major General Mohamed Ocham described the participation of this as purposeful and necessary.
Your joyful appearance this morning indicate that you are glad and that the sleepless nights of studying the Turkish language and struggling to meet the requirements are finally over. I am certain that those hard hours for the past 3 months you have been put through will not be in vain, as the course must have broadened your ability and proficiency beyond your ordinary knowledge to areas of learning new languages and skills of doing other things, amongst other benefits.
In addition to the basic linguistic background, the military learners went through courses on the Turkish culture, transport service, and other social and identities of the Turkish. The best students during the course of the training were awarded gifts. The third best Lieutenant Salif Bojang, second best Lieutenant Modwali, and the most outstanding student, Captain Namin K.M. Fati, accepted the little token from the program. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Mariama Cham. Now, in a heated debate between leaders of opposition DOI and Citizens Alliance political parties on Wednesday, the two sides consider unity as the only way forward for the Gambia. They identified poverty and ignorance as common enemies and that the unity must be in place to prevent the country from sinking. Bindajal has the rest of that in this report.
The debate between Halifa Saleh of the PDOIS and Ismaila Ceesay of the Citizen Alliance to some extent served as a turning point that the December presidential election will be based off public scrutiny. The two presidential hopefuls locked horns in assessment of the coalition 2016 that ousted ex-President Jammeh in a peaceful process under the leadership of current President Adama Barrow. While Dr. Ceesay challenged coalition leaders to accept failure, Honorable Saleh defended the 2016 political convergence as success that paved way for a new beginning for the country. Halifa Saleh conceded what had been achieved by a first phase of the transition, arguing that the next phase should be to unite against poverty, ignorance, and justice.
Are we going to continue to clap for politicians because of words? Or are we going to listen very carefully, thoughtfully, to gather ideas that will enable us to make informed choice? What is the purpose of this discourse? It is to help each of us to take ownership of our minds, to know that we are sovereign, to know that we own this country. And because we are sovereign, we are the decision makers. And therefore, this country will sink if we don't think and take the right decisions. It will float if we think and make the right decisions. This is the starting point of the battle of ideas.
The National Assembly member for Serekunda considered the debate the starting point of the battle of ideas and not the battle of individuals.
It must not be seen as battle of individuals. Ideas can be exchanged. I heard Dr. Ceesay mention sovereign national wealth.
2 minutes, sir.
I believe that is what they also used to rely on to fight poverty. I don't see how we can fight poverty in any other way through loans, grants, and taxes. We must harness our sovereign national wealth that belongs to all the people. The question is, how are we going to distribute it to be able to eradicate poverty? The debate will continue on that score.
The leader of Citizen Alliance, Dr. Ismaila Ceesay, on the other hand, is of the belief that the people of his country have suffered for far too long for the status quo to remain the same. Since the attainment of independence from the British colonial rule in 1965, he said they have not been able to build a country where every Gambian citizen will live a dignified life.
We have not been able to build a country where every Gambian citizen will live a dignified life. We are not able to feed our people. We are not able to care our people when they are sick. We are not able to give our children quality, relevant education where they can have mastery and compete in the global stage. We are not even able to give our people clean water, let alone clean or cheap electricity. We are not able to build good roads. We've not done anything for ourselves. The time has come for us to change and transform this country.
Dr. Ceesay agreed on the need for unity on basis that citizens are not necessarily enemies of one another.
I agree with Honorable that we need to unite. The Mandinka is not the enemy of the Wolof. The Fula is not the enemy of the Jola. Do is not the enemy of CA. UDP is not the enemy of NPP. The Christian is not the enemy of the Muslim. We have a common enemy, all of us. Whether you are Doi, whether you are CA, whether you are Manjago or Mandinka, whether you are Christian or Muslim, whether you are a nationalist, a communist, whether you are a monarchist, we all have a common enemy in this country. We've not been able to fight and win against this common enemy because we've not been united. And our differences have always been out there. Where is that common enemy? Poverty, disease, bad roads, lack of education. And until we unite, this enemy will stay and it will defeat us.
The Gambia is undoubtedly known for its maintenance of peace and security, despite the individual differences, particularly on political lines. However, the current political climate is considered as a fresh start that needs to be guarded and governed with caution. For iAfrican News, Binta Jallow.
We will go with a short break and be right back with the rest of the news.
The locations, the design, the materials used, all the way down to the latest details, are few of many things that we focused on when we envisioned the airport residency. As proud innovators of community estates, the airport residency in Old Yundum, a project by Swami India International, offers unique gated community with 3- and 4-bedroom villas and duplexes. Just 5 minutes away from the Banjul International Airport. Luxury, convenience, and accessibility are some of the reasons you should consider this great housing opportunity. With a clubhouse, a playground, access roads, and parking facilities available for your dream home or a valuable investment, you will find all you need at Airport Residency here in Old Yundum.
Welcome to Staples, the office superstore for all your office needs, office furnitures, office equipment, office kitchenwares, office stationery. Get all you need for your workplace. Office desks, chairs, workstation, conference table, computers, printers, monitors, sofas, filing cabinets, water dispensers, microwaves, ovens, air coolers, and lots more. Staples, the best superstore in the Gambia.
Hello! There's a new update from your favorite GSM operator, AfriCell.
For all of you that have struggled to buy cash power beyond $7,000, AfriCell has done it again. The limit to buy cash power is now up to $30,000. Oh yes, $30,000.
Buy all the cash power you want from your AfriMoney account by dialing *777#.
Where AfriCell goes, nobody dares to follow.
It's an amazing offer. AfriMoney just got way better. The threshold for cash in and cash out on your AfriMoney has been increased.
Where it used to be $10,000 per transaction, now it has been increased to $30,000. Meaning your AfriMoney account, you can now withdraw and deposit up to $30,000 at once.
Cashing in and out just got 3 times easier. For more info, call 777.
Where AfriCell goes, nobody dares to follow.
Welcome back, and you're still watching Gambia 24 News. Now, days of uninterrupted rain of the 2021 farming season has led to the flooding of a female automotive garage of Bakau in the Kanifan Municipal Council. The mechanical workshop, initiated and operated by women in the men-dominated profession, has been forced to slow down in its response to demand of customers due to the weather condition. Details of that in this report by Hawanjai.
The female mechanics could not continue their pace in dealing with nuts and bolts after nearly a week-long uninterrupted downpour. As the case with many places within the Greater Banjul area, their skill center was flooded, resulting in questions of hygiene. The Chief Executive Officer of the Female Automotive, Fatmata Jame, highlighted some of the challenges brought about by the rainy season.
Now we are encountering a lot of difficulties because during rainy season, we are not able to walk. The place get wet and then you see a lot of bacteria, earthworm everywhere, so that will not help us. It is not even hygiene for us to be here. And also it is affecting us physical and financial right now.
She used the opportunity to call on sponsors to consider giving into the plight of young women in the automotive business. It is clear, she said, that their work cannot continue in the given situation and that their customer satisfaction and base will likely be affected.
We are in need of sponsors. We are calling for the private sectors, individual, government, and also the donors to come and help us, because this is a female garage that we have. And then we want everybody to be proud of us and come and help, because we cannot be here we work only for 6 months and then we stop another 6 months. That is also not advisable for us. It's not even encouraging for us. And if we come back, we start it again fresh. I mean, we have we lose a lot of financial and even physical. So we need support from government and others for us as individuals.
The female automotive service providers are youth who came together to create a service which would provide job employment to complement the national development drive. Their program empowers women in the skilled sector to take up challenges without giving in to any form of discrimination. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Hawanjai.
Now we'll go with another short break and we'll be back for the rest of the news on Gambia 24.
The pride we take in our brand, the work we put into constantly change the landscape and elevate real estate in the Gambia, it's compared to none. From inception, our goal was to add value to the beautiful Gambian landscape. That's why we are proud innovators of community estates. Kololi Sands is an exceptional piece of work, tailored for ultimate convenience and luxury, to bring you an element of finesse that is rare but unique in its own. This is also our pride and joy, and we welcome you to the exquisite beauty right here in Kololi and right here on the waterfront. Kololi Sands, feel the ocean breeze at your doorstep.
The easiest way to describe it is, right now you could consider us being at war with the coronavirus, right? Anybody at war, you need a military, you need soldiers, right? When it comes to a virus, there's only 2 ways that you could train soldiers that could fight that virus. One of them is actually getting coronavirus, which is not an unpleasant experience because that comes with the risk of hospitalization or dying. The other option is get soldiers by getting a vaccine, because it gives your immune system the protection it needs to fight off the virus. And which is why some things people have to understand is vaccines' effectiveness isn't determined by people who don't get the virus. You could be vaccinated, but because you are vaccinated, now you have a lower chance of being sick enough to be hospitalized or sick enough to die from coronavirus. But it's just thinking about it from more as your defense mechanism, right? There's only 1 or 2 ways. And I think vaccines is the safest and surest, because the more of our population that's vaccinated, the safer it is, because then our hospital systems also are not overburdened. Because the more people that get sick, Gambia doesn't have a facility of 10,000 ICU beds to take care of people. So the more people that get to the hospital, the more there's a likelihood that we'll lose a lot of people. And we're not a big population. So for 2.5 million people, a lot of places in the Western world, they're vaccinating 1 million people a day, but there's a willingness to it. So Gambia could change the course of the pandemic just by us being committed to the solution that's in front of us.
They say we slept in one world and woke up in another. This global tragedy got humans together despite our social distancing. Our nature is taking a break. And giving us a wake-up call on what and who truly matters. Look around you. Hold on. Breathe. Count your blessings. Take time for self-renewal, for a better start tomorrow. Soon, life will be back. Meanwhile, let's stand apart together, with one heart.
Welcome back, and now to the rest of the news on Gambia 24. Now, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency on Thursday signed a memorandum of understanding with its Nigerian counterparts to foster bilateral relations between the two countries in fighting against the use of drugs and drug trafficking within the sub-region. The entourage met the President of the Republic this morning to discuss matters relating to the MOU. More of that in this report by Hawanjai.
In complementing the efforts of fighting against drug use and trafficking, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency of Nigeria signed a memorandum of understanding with its Gambian counterparts. Brigadier General Buba Marwa Mohammed and his delegation attended a closed-door meeting with the President to ask for political support with relations to the MOU. The General, after the meeting with President Barrow, shared details of the meeting while highlighting the main focus of the Memorandum of Understanding.
So the MOU is one more of these areas of cooperation between us. The drug trade, drug abuse, the drug cartels is one of the threats facing the international community, and it is up to countries, especially in our sub-region, to partner, collaborate, and cooperate to make sure that we eliminate the drug cartels and drug trade. This is the essence. And we briefed His Excellency that this is why we are here. We will share information, especially intelligence, operations, logistical areas, training, and any other area between us that will boost our mission of eliminating the cultivation, production, sale, and trafficking of narcotic drugs, psychotropic substances, and their precursors. This is the essence of it.
Brigadier General Buba Marwa Mohammed stated that the collaboration works towards amplifying the fight against drug use and trafficking not only in the Gambia but throughout the West African sub-region.
We do have within the ECOWAS partnership within the ECOWAS, but specifically country to country, this is one of the early ones. Ghana is one. We have other countries, both in Africa and globally, that we have MOUs, which we will be implementing. There are also a few more that are on the horizon, especially with India. which is one of the countries exporting, unfortunately, tramadol to Nigeria, which is one of the most harmful of the drugs that are used. In Nigeria, I'm not happy to say the prevalence of drug use is 3 times the global average. 14.3 million Nigerians use drugs. And of that number, the opioids is about 5 million. And of the opioids, 60% is tramadol. So this is a continuing exercise.
The Director General of National Drug Law Enforcement Agency in the Gambia, Bakari Kasama, dilated on the importance of the cooperation and how the Gambia can benefit from the MOU.
We look forward to partner with a country, a college institution like Nigeria, who have wealth of experience, wealth of knowledge that we can share, we can tap from, and of course also they can render technical support to us. These things he reiterated to His Excellency the President, the support that government should render to my institution, and he was assured by His Excellency the President that the political will is there and they will continue to render that support. But we have limited resources. But we can always count on our brothers, where government cannot provide, other partners cannot provide, possibly we can get that support from our counterparts.
In the Gambia and internationally, marijuana, also known by many street names, remains the most commonly abused illicit drug. Individuals of varying ages and economic status abuse it, though it is most popular among the youth. This is because it is affordable, commonly available and accessible. Most of the cannabis sativa found in the Gambia comes from the Casamance region of Senegal and the West Coast region, although it is grown in diverse places across the country. Statistics from Caesars reveals the presence of other forms of controlled and prohibited drugs like cocaine, heroin, diazepam, and bromazepam. The advent of new psychoactive substances is a threat that the Gambia is equally not exempted from. In order to curb this menace, the agency continues to work with relevant stakeholders at both the drug demand reduction and supply suppression front on measures and means to curtail this menace. Reporting for iAfrican News, I am Hawan Jai.
In that report filed by Hawan Jai on an MOU signed by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency with its Nigerian counterpart to foster bilateral relations between the two countries in fighting against the use of drugs and drug trafficking, brings us to the end of Gambia 24 News. I am your presenter Mariama Cham. Thanks for watching and goodbye.